Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to uncover the completely surprising physics behind that thrilling, undeniable feeling of weightlessness. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? The wind rushing past your face, that agonizingly slow clank, clank, clank of the chain pulling you up the hill, and then boom, the floor just drops out from under you. But what is actually happening to your body and, honestly, the physical world around you in that exact split second? Let's get into it. Here is how we're breaking things down today. First, we'll tackle the stomach drop sensation. Then, gravity versus normal force. After that, Einstein and the elevator, followed by the astronaut weightlessness myth, and finally, designing the perfect thrill.
All right, part one, the stomach drop sensation.
Let's start with a really visceral, totally universal human experience. It happens just as a coaster tips over its highest peak, or honestly, even when you drive just a little too fast over a sudden bump in the road. You definitely know the feeling. It's that sudden flash of weightlessness and that strange, fluttering feeling right in your belly when you plummet downwards. Your body loses its sense of weight, your arms and legs feel super light, and you kind of lose the boundary between you and your seat. But why do we feel this so intensely right in our gut? Well, the medical reality behind this thrill is actually kind of unsettling. Normally, your organs are held perfectly in place by a whole network of tissues and muscles, right? Gravity is just constantly pulling everything downward. But as Dr. Brad Sajura points out, your internal organs, especially your stomach and intestines, are somewhat loosely suspended. So when you take a sudden drop, they temporarily lag behind the rest of your body's downward motion. Basically, your body falls, but your organs actually float for just a split second, which is literally just as weird as it sounds. This internal shifting causes the nerves around your organs to freak out, sending a sudden panic signal straight to your brain. Add in your inner ears struggling to keep up with the rapid change in direction, and boom, you get that legendary, totally disorienting stomach drop. Moving on to section 2, gravity versus normal force. Okay, so to truly wrap our heads around the physics of that stomach drop, we absolutely need to distinguish between what gravity actually is and what our bodies physically feel. The really crucial takeaway here is that you cannot actually feel gravity itself. Crazy, right? What you feel as your weight isn't gravity pulling you down. It's your apparent weight, or what physicists call the normal force. That's simply the surface beneath you pushing back up. When you're just standing around, the floor is pushing up against your feet with a force completely equal to gravity pulling you down. But on a roller coaster, that balance gets completely thrown out the window. Think about what happens when you're riding through a massive loop. Down at the absolute bottom of that loop, gravity is pulling you down, sure, but your seat has to push upward with an incredible amount of force just to redirect your momentum back up the track. This massive normal force makes you feel incredibly heavy. You're pulling positive Gs. But then, think about being at the very top of that same loop, hanging upside down. Up there, gravity is still pulling you down, but now it's actually doing the work of pulling you through the curve. Because of this, the normal force drops way, way down. Depending on your speed, the seat pushes against you a lot less. And if it's timed perfectly, it stops pushing on you entirely. It all boils down to this totally elegant balance. When the downward pull of gravity perfectly matches the inward centripetal force needed to keep you on that curved track, the seat stops pushing on you altogether. The normal force drops straight to zero. In that one fleeting second, you are in a momentary state of pure freefall. Your true weight hasn't changed one bit, but your apparent weight, it's zero.
Which brings us to section 3, Einstein and the elevator.
Now, what's really amazing is that this wild interplay between gravity and acceleration isn't just for theme parks. It's literally the foundation of modern astrophysics. Albert Einstein actually used a simple elevator for a famous thought experiment to explain this. Imagine you're in an elevator that suddenly shoots upward. The floor pushes up on your feet with more force, your apparent weight spikes, and you feel heavier, right? Now, imagine the terrifying scenario where the elevator cable snaps and you're in freefall. The floor falls away at the exact same rate you do, meaning zero normal force, and you feel completely weightless. Einstein realized that if you were stuck in a closed box, there would be absolutely no way to tell the difference between the force of gravity pulling you down and the force of acceleration pushing you up. That single, mind-bending realization, it led directly to his theory of general relativity. Let's look at section 4, the astronaut weightlessness myth. We can actually take Einstein's elevator concept and scale it way up to completely shatter a huge misconception about astronauts. Most people think astronauts float around because there's just zero gravity up on the International Space Station. But check this out. The gravitational pull up there is actually 8.65 newtons per kilogram. Down here on Earth's surface, it's 9.81. That means gravity in orbit is only about 12% less than it is on your couch. If we built a giant, impossible tower reaching all the way up to the ISS, and you stood on top of it, you'd weigh almost exactly the same as you do right now. So, why in the world are they floating? Well, it's not a lack of gravity, it's because the ISS is moving sideways so incredibly fast. We're talking about 17,500 miles per hour. It's whipping sideways so quickly that as gravity pulls it downward, it is essentially falling towards Earth at the exact same rate the Earth's surface curves away from it. They are in a state of constant, unending freefall. Just like you, at the very top of that coaster hill, there is no floor pushing back up against them, so their apparent weight becomes zero. And that leads perfectly into Section 5, designing the perfect thrill. So the big question is, how do engineers safely manufacture this incredible cosmic sensation of continuous freefall and put it right in our backyards without accidentally sending us into orbit? Well, roller coaster designers are absolute masters of manipulating apparent weight. They play with speed, track curvature, and height to safely push our fragile human bodies through a meticulously calculated sequence. They hit us with heavy positive Gs at the bottom of a drop, float us with zero-G airtime over the crests, toss us with sideways lateral Gs on unbanked turns, and blast us with massive accelerations. They basically blend circular motion and freefall to cook up the ultimate kinetic experience. That, of course, safety is the absolute top priority. If engineers build perfectly circular loops, the acceleration at the very bottom would be so violent that riders would literally black out from the massive positive G-forces. So instead, they use teardrop-shaped loops, known as clothoid loops. If you've ever noticed that coaster loops aren't perfect circles, this is why. The turning radius is much wider at the bottom of the teardrop than at the tighter top. Because acceleration drops when a turning radius is larger, this brilliant design naturally limits those dangerous G-forces at the bottom, while still serving up that perfectly calibrated, glorious moment of weightlessness right at the very top. Which brings us to our final thought for today. That fleeting loss of weight, even though it's completely manufactured for a quick thrill, really exposes a fundamental truth about how we experience the physical universe. So, the next time you visit a theme park and you're creeping over that towering hill and you feel that inevitable stomach drop, ask yourself, are you truly defying the laws of physics up there, or are you just perfectly surrendering to them? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope you never look at a roller coaster, or frankly an elevator, the exact same way ever again.